The story of the hamburger, that humble yet mighty sandwich, begins not in a modern fast food kitchen, but in a swirl of migration, trade, and culinary experimentation. To understand how it came to be, we must step back into the 19th century, when the world was moving faster, and people demanded food that was hearty, portable, and quick. Hamburg, Germany in the early 1800s was a bustling port city, alive with sailors, merchants, and immigrants bound for the New World. Ships carried not only goods and people, but also ideas, traditions, and recipes. One of these was a dish known as the Hamburg steak, a patty of minced beef seasoned with onions and garlic, often mixed with breadcrumbs, and then fried or grilled. For Germans, beef was considered a robust, filling food, and Hamburg steak became a symbol of strength and nourishment. By the mid-1800s, German immigrants carried this idea across the Atlantic to America. In places like New York, Chicago, and along the Midwest rail lines, German butchers began selling Hamburg steak as a nod to their homeland. It was served on plates in restaurants, often with gravy or fried potatoes. However, it wasn't yet a sandwich, just a beef patty eaten with a knife and fork. The great transformation came during the late 19th century, in the age of American invention and industrial hustle. The country was building railroads, hosting fairs, and feeding thousands of workers and travelers. Portable food was in demand. Somewhere in this whirlwind of progress, an unknown genius, or perhaps several, made the leap. Instead of serving the Hamburg steak on a plate, why not place it between two slices of bread? Here is where history turns into legend, for multiple towns in the United States claim the honor of inventing the first hamburger. One story points to Louis Lassen, a Danish immigrant in New Haven, Connecticut. In 1900, Louis ran a small lunch wagon, where he sold quick meals to busy workers. One day, a customer asked for something fast but filling. Louis took ground beef trimmings, grilled them, and placed the patty between two slices of toast. He handed it over wrapped in paper, and thus, his family claims, the first hamburger sandwich was born. His small shop, Louis's Lunch, still proudly serves hamburgers today, on toast, not buns, in tribute to the original. Another story travels to Seymour, Wisconsin, where brothers Frank and Charles Menches sold food at fairs in the 1880s. Legend has it that while selling sausages at a county fair, they ran out of pork. Faced with hungry crowds, they substituted ground beef instead, seasoning it and placing it between bread. They later said they named the creation after Hamburg, New York, the town where the fair was held. In Athens, Texas, a man named Fletcher Davis, or Old Dave, is said to have served ground beef patties on bread with mustard and onions at his small cafe in the 1880s. He supposedly took his creation to the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, where it reached a wide audience. The fair was famous for debuting American food icons, ice cream cones, hot dogs, and perhaps hamburgers. Whichever origin story you prefer, one truth is certain. By the early 20th century, the hamburger had captured America's appetite. It was cheap, tasty, and could be eaten with one hand, perfect for factory workers, students, and travelers. The next innovation was the bun. Soft, round bread rolls made the sandwich easier to hold and gave it a signature look. Soon after, toppings like cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, and sauces followed, turning the hamburger into a canvas for creativity. By the 1920s, restaurants like White Castle standardized the hamburger, serving small, square patties for just 5 cents each. Later, McDonald's and other chains spread it worldwide, turning a local curiosity into a global icon. From German Hamburg steak to American hamburger, this food tells the story of migration, adaptation, and the human quest for convenience without losing flavor. Its invention cannot be pinned to one hand alone, but rather to the hands of many. Immigrants, fairground vendors, cooks, and customers who shaped it into what we know today. And so, the first hamburger was less a single event than a moment in culinary evolution. Born out of necessity, shaped by culture, and destined for legend. What began as a patty of seasoned beef became not just a meal but a symbol of America itself, fast, flavorful, and endlessly adaptable.